So here's a sheet I built. It's a Roth conversion calculator. And what it's meant to do is look at some of the variables and some of the calculations that we should be looking at when we decide to convert your money from a traditional IRA to a Roth. And this is relevant because as people work their jobs, they usually put money into a 401k. That's usually pre-tax dollars. The 401k rolls out of the 401k custodian, usually into an IRA in the end. And at some point, people start to discuss, should you convert this into a Roth? And the difference really is because the Roth money can grow tax deferred and has a few other benefits, which I will discuss later on. The traditional IRA is just more common. And as a result, this Roth conversion is a big part of conversation in wealth planning. Okay. So in this example, I have a $200,000 IRA. The person's 35 years old. Expected age of first withdrawal is 60. I have tax rate assumptions today versus in the end meaning the later years when you start to draw the money. And these don't matter too much. And then I have the 9% estimated return on assets and a tax rate, which I'll get into later on. Okay. So below, I have the different scenarios. Scenario one is the account IRA balance when you do nothing. And this is a Roth balance when you convert your IRA to a Roth. Okay. So in this scenario, without touching anything, I had it preloaded. If you're in a 35% tax bracket today, your account's worth $200,000, and you assume you have 25 years to your first withdrawal. Well, the increase or decrease in value by doing the conversion is $16,000 to you. And that's because the mechanics of how money grows, how it's taxed, and all of the different parts of that, which this calculator is supposed to do, shows that $16,000 is created, which is not a very big thing. However, you have all of the other benefits of having money post-tax, which again, I'll come back to. Okay, so it makes sense in the dollar front and like an operational standpoint. So let's just go over this really quick. $200,000 IRA today, that grows by 9% a year to age 60. To age 60, $1.724 million. Now, the same dollar amount in the Roth account will be had, and that's the baseline assumption up here, after-tax money, traditional IRA money. What happens is when you convert from an IRA to a Roth, you have to pay tax. And that's one of the assumptions in here is that you can pay the tax out of money outside of the account. Okay. So $70,000 is taxed at the 35% rate today. So if you can somehow pay the money out of your pocket, you're going to have the same balance in the end. Some people do a Roth conversion and they pay the tax out of the account. That's never advisable. That never makes sense. The numbers don't work. Okay. So let's say you have a $70,000 tax bill, you take care of it, we're done. So what this calculator does is it compares both options like for like after-tax dollars. And like I said, your Roth account will have $1.724 million. Your traditional IRA, $1.724 million. But then you have to take into consideration the tax that you've paid and the opportunity tax dollars that you just spent, the $70,000 below. Okay, so I'll walk through this slowly. In year 60, scenario number one, after-tax Roth IRA has $1.74 million. I've said that many times now. Opportunity cost of tax paid. What that means is the $70,000 you paid today in tax would have grown all the way over here every single year to $415,000, assuming a 9% rate of return and some tax drag along the way because of dividends and other just transaction costs. Okay, so you had to pay $70,000, which turned into $415,000 of after-tax opportunity cost money. Your net after-tax equivalent, $1.3 million. If you did nothing and you kept your money in your traditional IRA, it grew to the same number I continue to say, $1.7 million, but you have to pay tax on the money when it comes out. Okay, so that assumption is right here, 25%. you're going to pay $431,000 in tax to the IRS, meaning you're left with 2.93, 1.293, and your increase in value is $16,000, meaning if you assume all of the things on the left-hand side are right, you're better off from a dollar standpoint to convert your IRA today to your Roth, and your lifetime value in dollars could be somewhere near $16,000. Now, I want to talk about the other part of this, the intangible part. You can't really measure it well, so maybe it's a little tangible, but it's harder to measure. A traditional IRA, you are forced to take the money out at age 73. You can take it out before, but you're forced to take it out at age 73 as of this year, 2024. What that means is the IRS wants their money. So you have to pay the tax when you take the money out at age 73. Now, you don't have to pay all $431,000 at that date. It's drawn out. It's not relevant for this conversation, but you're forced to pay the tax. Let's say, for instance, though, you had a very good income, you had a lot of savings, and you don't need to touch this money. You wanted to continue to grow. You wanted to create a legacy for yourself, and you wanted to let after-tax compounding do its work. Well, you do not have to take out the money out of the Roth. So, intangible benefit of the Roth, you are in control of when you distribute the money. Very powerful, okay? Some people hate paying the IRS. That's part two I want to talk about. The tax dollars you are actually paying the IRS, $431,000, which is actually conservative, which I'll spare you the details why. It's largely due because you drag in the RMD out every single year, 73, 874. You're paying tax every single year. The dollars just keep coming. Anyways, $431,000 today, and in year 73 versus $70,000 today. So you're paying all those extra dollars in tax to the IRS. Okay. The other thing to consider, when you take money out of your traditional IRA, it's called required minimum distribution. That is calculated in the equation that says your Social Security should be taxed or not. It's also taxed a part of the equation for Medicare. If you're in a certain threshold, you pay X amount. When you're in the highest income level, you pay almost 5 times more per month. So that's a difference of almost $400 a month when you are in the highest tax bracket in retirement. And all the dollars that you take out of your traditional IRA are added to that equation. The money that's taken out of your Roth is not. Huge difference. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to have this video posted, and I'm going to link it to another video that I did about oil and gas. Now, one awesome strategy is if you have dollars to pay the $70,000 out of your pocket, well, you can add a little bit more to it and invest in an oil and gas strategy. And the tax deduction, which is about 90% of your investment, you basically are going to pay no taxes, right? So you convert from a traditional to a Roth. You take control of the timing of your distribution. You take control of your financial future a lot more with the Social Security, the Medicare, and you are now investing in oil and gas and taking a tax deduction and keeping the assets in your name. Powerful stuff. So I'm going to leave it there. Hope you guys have a great day.